Welcome back everyone on how to determine your date's dating preference, also known as couple palace. To do that, we'll use the Chinese solar calendar, also known as the Chinese zodiac calendar. It's different than the lunar calendar. We do that by entering the birthday, and this link I have posted down below is a calendar I found that gives you the English date rather than the Chinese date. So you have been following this series. We're in the third segment right now, talking about one of the 10 possibility when it comes to dating preferences. Today we'll go through the wealth series. There are two stands associated to wealth when it comes to dating preference. If you have one of these two, or your date have one of these two, wealth is bound to associate with them. Good or bad is yet to determine, but I can tell you this much. First one is positive wealth. If you were born in one of these 4 days, Wuxi, Jihai, Renru, Guixi. And you can find these out by the link I posted down below. Just enter birthday to read the date section. So you're born in one of these days, you definitely have the positive wealth in your couple palace. So in other words, these are the days you need to be born in, you want to marry someone wealthy. 4 out of 60 possibility. And the math comes to 6.67%. If you want to marry someone wealthy, you have to be born to do that. So not something you can just go after in life. Certain things in life are set by our destiny. It's hard to change your birthday after you have been born. So address the elephant in the room. Obviously, the positive is to marry someone wealthy. So a good thing to know is that even if someone is not wealthy right now, they do have the potential of becoming wealthy down the road. So maybe like you marry someone in their 20s, they're not wealthy. There's a small possibility that person's already wealthy, but they have the potential of becoming wealthy down the road. So if you marry someone that has the positive wealth in the couple palace, there's a good chance that you will become wealthy because of that person. Either he or she yourself has a positive wealth. That means someone you marry is going to be wealthy or potentially be wealthy, which will benefit you as well if you're married. Let's talk about the person that has positive wealth in the couple palace. They're mostly going to be someone that's willing to spend money on their significant other or their date within a budget. That's the difference between a positive and a partial wealth. Positive wealth, they keep everything in a budget. They don't overspend. That's one of the bad things. They're frugal. Also mean they're good with money, well manage their finance. That's a good thing. They also tend to be decent looking. So you're looking for someone that has potentially better looks than others with more presentable appearance. Not because of the wealth, but they tend to be someone that tend to take care of themselves more. I know like people with money usually do that. There might be a correlation to that. They also would be someone that your parents approves. So you watch the last series, we mentioned about people that your parents would disapprove. This is the opposite. This is the girl or guys that your parents will definitely approve and give the blessing to. A good thing is, like I mentioned earlier, they will benefit the wealth luck of their other half. Whoever they end up dating or marrying, they will have the potential of becoming wealthy. When I say potential, is like someone blessed with the luck to get wealthy doesn't mean they'll always become wealthy. It's all come down to their life choices. You could be blessed with a lot of luck to gain wealth, but how you blow that money is entirely up to you. You could like win a lottery and then blow it on casino, and that's a personal choice. But people with positive wealth tend to be very good there with the money. So I haven't seen a case where someone with positive wealth are bad with the finance, because people with positive wealth always tend to have a good personality that would link with well-managed finances. They don't go with budget. That's one bad thing. Like they tend to frugal. Cheapskate would be a bad way to say that, but a good way to say like, oh, they're frugal. So another bad thing is they believe that money can solve their relationship problem. That might be a turnoff for people that don't put money high on the list of their relationship. Someone that believe money can solve a relationship problem. So I've seen like guys and girls that does this. If they have money, they will like, oh, they upset their girlfriend or boyfriend, they just buy them an expensive gift and thinking that will solve their problem. It might work for some, but not the other. But that's kind of the general brief in terms of money. can solve problems. Someone that like to be showered money, they are your guy or girl, which link to the next personality or the couple palace, and that's the partial wealth. So this is the opposite of the positive wealth. As mentioned before, you have the yin and the yang when it comes to stands. That's why there's 10 stands, because there's 5 elements, and you have yin and yang create the 10 stand. So partial wealth, how do you know you have the partial wealth in your couple palace? Is determined by you were born in one of these 8 dates. So they're the Jiashu, Jiaqing, Yiwei, Yiqiu, Bingsha, Dingyu, Xingmao. So refer to the translation I put up on the screen. I mentioned earlier, someone that shower, they make with money. So partial wealth are the guy or girl you want to date if you enjoy being showered with money by your significant other. So they would blow the budget, spend every dime they have, maybe even take out a loan just to buy a nice gift for their significant other. So it might sound a little responsible. That's why it's partial wealth, not positive wealth. So they do share a similar benefit between the two wealth stand. It's the benefit of the other half in terms of wealth. It's actually a great match for anyone that are entrepreneur. So I often see like entrepreneur couples have this partial wealth in their couple palace. Is that partial wealth also implies that you will accumulate wealth in a non-traditional way, kind of way that fluctuate in terms of how you generate your wealth. So like do the work in commission type of job, trade in the stock market, or like work in insurance, or similar like real estate agents. They tend to have the partial wealth in one of the personality. Not necessarily the couple wealth, but any one of the columns has that partial wealth sign, tribute to unstable type of income. So that could be good or bad depending on what industry you're in. If you work a salary job and you have partial wealth, that means like you could get fired abruptly and you could be very prone to like getting laid off and stuff, because that's unstable income. So I always recommend people pick the career based on what personality they have in the columns, to kind of work toward your strength, not against it. You might have to take a leap of faith when you commit to a certain career, but it will be good for you in the long run. You have the partial wealth. So the bad thing about the partial wealth, anyone I've seen that has partial wealth is bad with money. Just a guarantee. Whether they show it on the outside or show it on the inside, they are bad with money. It comes with poor spending habit too. You may go over budget or get in debt just from buying gifts or any other relationship issue. Maybe like for wedding, a lot of people do get into debt because of wedding these days, but it's very possible someone that has the partial wealth couple palace, they will go into debt for love related issues. Maybe go on the honeymoon, dream vacation, or your anniversary. You might overspend on some dinner that you want to buy your significant other. Another issue I mentioned is the unstable income portion. I know people that would find security in stable income. Partial wealth couple palace is not your cup of tea, definitely, because there are someone that into unstable income. If this is something you can tolerate, then definitely go for this type of guy or girl. They also share a negative trait with the positive wealth folks. They believe money can solve relationship problem as well. You might be starting seeing problem in your significant other if you determine they have this stand in the couple palace. Like if all of a sudden they upset you, they buy you a nice gift, thinking that, oh, everything's fine after you got, because I got you this expensive gift. But like you're still mad at them because they didn't apologize or did other things acknowledge the fault. And that could be a problem long term if you guys don't share the same belief. Regardless what stand you have in each other, if you're already married, compatibility is just a way to say how hard you have to work on a relationship. So obviously you're not incompatible. That just means that you need to work out a lot of issues, maybe through counseling and such. Communications is always the key in solving any kind of relationship crisis. I think relationships where work that are incompatible, it just means that they have to spend a lot of time acknowledging what they have done and realizing that this might trigger the other person, so they draw like fine lines on where the ground stand. This is one of my personal policy that I never tell people that their relationship doesn't work. Like, for example, like if you're about to get married next week and you come to me and give me your birthdays, asking me, are we compatible? Like, you guys are getting married next week. I'm not gonna tell you like don't get married. That's just irresponsible advice. I'll tell you like, yeah, you guys might not be entirely compatible, but if you put the work into it, you'll have a lasting marriage. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It'll give you some good luck, perhaps even like better relationship. Also consider subscribing and hit the notification button. And there will be 2 more videos posted in this series. And comment down below if you have any question on anything I mentioned. Sometimes I missed a few things here and there, so I can always clarify a bit if you have more like specialized questions or something that's out of the blue. I always check my comments, so I don't have a lot of followers, so hope I can make a difference, spread awareness on dating and potentially gatekeeping for any bad days that you have. Anyway, until next time, we'll talk about our next stand.